Greetings, salutations. What's up? This is Chris Erskine, affectionately known as Pastor E in the movement, and this is another opportunity for us to share quality content with you. It is a proud privilege of ours here at the movement, myself, our media team, our entire church, to make sure that we have quality content for our movement community. Yes, movement community. Our community that's made up of individuals who are followers right here in Birmingham, where our home base, or our New York fellowship, or our Cleveland, Ohio fellowship, our Texas fellowship, or those who are part of the movement global, who are part of a wonderful community around the world. So however you're connected to us on today, I am grateful as Pastor E to have these moments with you. Whether you're connecting with us live on the CW21 here in the beautiful city of Birmingham and the surrounding cities. Let me thank God for Sylacauga. Let me thank God for Cullman and all points in between. Thank God for those who are on this other side of Utah, Alabama, Tuscaloosa. Those of you who go down to Clanton, Alabama. All the areas that surround that CW 3340 viewing area. If you are able to see us on Saturday morning, 6:30, it is our proud privilege to enter into relationship with you, invite you to our virtual world where you can have a seat and give God's name the praise that it is due. Thank you for acknowledging and being a part of this movement community. Or if you are live with us on one of the most attractive and growing, fastly growing YouTube channels, TMFC Live. If you are on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting on? Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell that you can be updated every time that we go live so that you will know what's happening in the movement community. We took some time with our 21-day fast and we posted through YouTube some of our 21-day devotions. Go back, check those out. It will bless your life like nothing before, especially the one we did on spiritual authority. I am being moved of God to not only write a book on anxiety and worrying, and canceling your contract with worrying. Your subscription for worrying became a theme for us during the 21-day fasting, as well as walking in spiritual authority, how to take spiritual authority, how to walk in it, how to command certain things to be and to come to pass, to declare a thing and watch God decree it to come to pass, and to watch the very walk of your life match the word that comes from God. So there are a plethora of things that are happening in the movement. We talked about the acquisition. We talked about some of the things that we're doing. Very soon, we're going to give you many, many more updates that are happening in our movement community, from education to affordable housing to our abilities to help with affordable health care at our healthcare movement care center. Several different things that we're touching on and having our spiritual fingerprint on. We're creating a whole financial business sector where you as a small business owner can get the assistance that you need from our Pratt City Business Association. Or perhaps you are a renter wanting to become a homeowner, and the first-time homeowners guide that we're going to provide, as well as first-time home buyers down payment assistance. Maybe you want to get your credit together, whatever that looks like. A credit union that you can be a member of, knowing that it's different than having an account at a bank. When you have an account at a credit union, you are a owner of the credit union. Several things we want to do to expand your world and expand ours in the movement community, and I invite you to be a part of it. Last but not least, I'm grateful to the brothers who are incarcerated at West Jefferson Donaldson Correctional Facility. Pastor, you love you to life. I'm bigging up on your behalf. You see me dressed like this today. Whenever you're catching this, know that if you're seeing me today, I'm not usually suited and booted, but I'm fresh back this week from lobbying on your behalf in Montgomery at the Alabama State House before the Prison Oversight Committee. It's one thing to go in prisons and preach and teach and give hope. It's another thing to go to the seat of power and speak truth to it. So I'm grateful to God for each and every one of you, brothers. I also shout out my brothers who are at St. Clair Correctional Facility, H-Dorm, M-Dorm, all the dorms that are there. Pastor E, love you to life, to Chaplain Carter, and to all who make up the body of Christ of the Church of the Chosen. Pastor E loves you to life. I'm lifting you up, and I'm giving God's name the praise, the glory, and the honor. You haven't seen me personally for a moment. We're working through some major issues to vindicate my name and the name of Eric Buchanan so that we can give quality ministry as we have always. Truth will always prevail. Stand on truth. When you stand on truth, you never have to lay out on a lie. So I love you to life. I thank God for each and every one of you. I shout out all the brothers across the state, the sisters who are at Tutwiler. Know that the movement, more ministry, is looking to do more on your behalf. We love you to life, and we appreciate you more than ever. To all of you who are tuned in, you want to know how you connect with us. TMFClive.com is our website. We're on all social media platforms, TMFC, the Movement Fellowship Church, Chris Erskine, whatever that looks like. Partner with us. Follow us. Get involved. Our movement community wants to embrace you and those that you love so that we can be a Matthew 25:35 church to you. Check out this intro. I'll be right back after this.
Truly understand what people may say. They believe to think how we think is far from okay. But I believe it's never okay to abandon your dreams. And it just so happens that our dream is to lift up a holy king. See, this is my life, my choice, and I choose to lift up my hands. And please don't be alarmed if when the music comes on, I begin to dance. And run across the room until I can barely catch my breath. And fall on the floor because I gave it all and have nothing left. See, I'm gon' worship until I pass out. See, I came to worship until I pass out. Because we go hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint, we worship. Hard in the paint, hard in the paint. We go hard in the paint, we worship. Hard in the paint.
Thank you for tuning back in. This is The Movement. The Movement Fellowship Church is located 1140 Pratt Highway in the beautiful city of Birmingham, Alabama. You can check us out on the CW21 or on our YouTube channel or on every social media platform. We have a presence that we would love for you to be a part of our movement community. This morning, afternoon, night, whenever you're catching this, allows us to speak wholeheartedly to what's happening in the movement and how it connects with you. For the last few weeks, since our 2025-2026 crossover service, many people call it Watch Night. We called it crossover this year because we believe that we were moving into the year of excitement. Each year of these kingdom years, 7 years, God has given us a new theme, whether it's kingdom expansion or kingdom encouragement. This year, kingdom excitement. And oh, the excitement that's been going on in the Movement Fellowship Church as well as in the lives of those who are followers and connected. Well, that service kicked off a series entitled The God Will Take Care of You series. Every week, dealing with a different aspect theologically and life application of that particular theme. God will take care of you. Someone listening right now, and you can honestly say, I am a witness, Pastor E, that God will take care of you. He's taking care of me. He's taking care of my family, taking care of my finances. He is taking care of my fitness and taking care of my faith. I am a witness that God will take care of you. But we dealt with it from the standpoint of that he will provide provisions, that he will give protection, that God presents promises. And this past week, we dealt with God in his phenomenal way of extending his power. That's what I want to touch on today, the power of God. The scripture for us today comes from Psalm 62, verse 11 and verse number 12. I'm reading from the TPT version, which we've adopted as the movement version, that says, God said to me once and for all the strength and power you need flows from me. And again, I heard it clearly said, all the love you need is found in me. And it is true that I will repay people for what they do. In scripture, Psalms 62, the backdrop of it. Because what good is it to have text without context? The context or the backdrop of Psalm 62 is that David is in a heated battle with his son Absalom. His son Absalom is growing into his own prominence, his own power, and he is flexing, if you will, in leadership. People who are anti-David's leadership have circled around Absalom to influence him to disrespect and dismantle the leadership of his father. In such, he sends these derogatory insults that his father's leadership is slothful, his father's leadership is slow, his father's leadership is sorry, his father's leadership is sagging. Therefore, you need me as your new leader. One of the principal problems with leadership is that anyone who has to tear down to build up won't qualify to be a leader with longevity. Say that again, Pastor E. Anybody who believes that your leadership abilities are based and built on tearing down other people so that you can be lifted up will never have longevity. If leadership is on you and around you, the last thing you need to do is short circuit someone else to try to take their position. God does not give position, God gives power. And God in Psalm 62 says that I've heard it once, it's spoken once, yes, I've heard it twice, the power belongs to God. Well, in New York for some years, I was privileged to pastor the Bethany Baptist Church in the village of Harlem. I am Birmingham born, Birmingham raised, and I big up my city of Birmingham. But can I tell you, I was adopted by Harlem World. And while I am Birmingham to the bone, Harlem is my home. I love Harlem. I love 153rd and Frederick Douglass. I love Lenox Avenue. I love 125th Street. There is nothing like the village of Harlem. Now, if you're from Brooklyn, I know you're going to say Brooklyn is the best. If you're in the Bronx, you're going to say the Bronx is the best. If you say you're from Queens, Queens is the best. Stephen A. Smith says Queens is it. I get it. But can I tell you, it's nothing like Harlem and the people of Harlem, and I love them and love them to this day. Well, in Harlem, I was privileged to pastor some of the family of gospel artist Hezekiah Walker. He and I become really close friends after the death of one of his loved ones. After that, we established a relationship that is solid to this day. Can I tell you, in 1999, Bishop Hezekiah Walker and the Love Fellowship Choir produced a CD called Family Affair. On the Family Affair CD was one of my favorite gospel songs, blockbuster hit, Power Belongs to God. Here's the lyrics. He says, trust in the Lord at all times. Pour out your heart before him. Power belongs to God. God has spoken once, and twice I've heard this. Power belongs to God. This is where I shout. Who can search his understanding? His thoughts higher than ours. All power is in his hand. For my life, he has a plan. God is our salvation. We find refuge in him. Power belongs to God. And can I tell you, I hear it in the back of my mind and in my spirit right now, because that song in 1999 got me through some of the most tumultuous times in my life. And like David, I was not just bumping the lyrics, I was living the lines. And in the life of David, he is going through turmoil because trouble is in his house. Someone's listening to me now. You're watching now, and you can testify. There is no hurt like close hurt. There is no hurt like when hurt gets in your house. There is no hurt like it is with a parent and a child and a parent. There is nothing like the disrespect of a child that you've raised, giving them your best. And there is nothing like the feeling of not being supported by a child from a parent that you think is aloof. I get it. But can I tell you, David is in turmoil. His life, his family is in turmoil. And while God will allow you to write your greatest lines from the worst place of your life, it is Psalm 62 that we're able to see the importance of having a silent testimony. I talked about this a few weeks at the movement, that a silent testimony is oxymoronic. It is strange. It is weird. The concept doesn't fit. It's almost as if the two things don't go together. If it's silent, Pastor E, how can it be a testimony? And if it's a real testimony, it can't be silent. Well, I beg to differ, because the saints of old would say it this way. If I couldn't say a word, I would just wave my hand. I said it in church. I'm saying it now. And many of you have the same reaction that they had in worship. You went up in praise, because it can be both. A silent testimony can be true, because it can be silent and still be a testimony. And it can be a testimony that is silent and still be truth. Well, he has a silent testimony for the simple fact that God is shielding him, keeping him, honoring him, because he's fighting his battle. God does not want to exert his power while you are exerting yours at the same time. Wait a minute. Clear your throat. Calm down. Say that again, Pastor E. God does not extend his power when you have elected to experience yours. One more time. God will not extend his power to you if you are trying to experience your power for yourself. The two don't work. God can't give you power if you want to work in yours. So this silent testimony, I'm trying to calm down. These silent testimonies come for three reasons. Number one, God's conversation assured David. They assured David that I will take care of you. God's conversation assured David that I will take care of you. Testimony, Pastor E. Where's the testimony? Look in verse number 5. Number 5, he talks about that his hurts are connected to God's healing. That God says that I will take care of you. He says in verse 8, pour out your heart before me. Verse 5, he says, my soul, wait only on the Lord. Verse 8, he comes back with a powerful prayer by saying, listen, that pour out my heart before him. Same lyrics Hezekiah Walker used. Pour out your heart before him. I find refuge in him. Power belongs to God. Trust in him at all times. And pour out your heart before him, because the power really does belong to God. So he assures him through conversation. He's talking to him. For I've heard this, verse 11, God spoke it once, but I've heard it twice. The twice hearing it is God's way of giving him confirmation. Here's why I shout off a confirmation. Every word God gives has a confirming second voice that will agree and assure you that it was God. Can I tell you, there is nothing more pleasing than to hear God's conversation in the midst of calamity and confusion. Wait a minute, Pastor E, you mean to tell me if I talk to God, God will talk back to me? Yes. Remember, there are four voices that are fighting for your ear. There is your voice, there's the world's voice, there is satanic voice, and there is God's voice. And whichever voice you turn the volume up on in obedience has the loudest sound in your ear. So if you are turning the volume of yourself up in your ear, you will drown God out. If you turn the voice of the world, what the world is saying, what the world is doing, up in your ear, it will shadow, it will silence the voice of God. If you are in sin or you're creating and committing things you know you shouldn't be doing, and you're talking negative in a negative way, you turn the voice of Satan up in your ear and you cannot hear from God. But when you turn the word of God up in your life, he silences your voice, the world's voice, the Satan's voice, Satan's voice, to where now his voice reigns supreme. Now, God will talk to you in multifaceted way, multifarious ways. It all depends on you. And don't limit God to talking to you like he talks to someone else. His conversation is different. But not only does God give David assurance through his conversation, but God gives David conduct that is assigned to his situation. God's conduct was assigned to David. How do you know that, Pastor E? Because it is David who refrains from retaliation. And this is a word in these last few minutes that I have to pour into you, that if God lends his power, you do not have the right to dictate the punishment. If you turn your enemies over to God, he says, I will make them your footstool. That's not for you to get pleasure that your foot would be on their neck. That's not what he's talking about. He's saying that I can lower your enemy to where they will not fight against you, but I'll make them fight for you. I will turn the very life of the person who told you no into a yes perpetually. I'm the God who will always vindicate you even when vile things have been said against you. Let them lie on you. I will correct it. You will outlive the lie. I wish somebody could shout that. I will outlive the lie. Somebody shout that right where you are. Wake up everybody around you, telling them, I will outlive the lie. So it is his conduct that you know this is not my demeanor. This is not my attitude. This is not my acumen. This is not me. When things happen and you don't respond the way people were expecting you to, or it shocks you that you didn't respond the way that you normally do, it is God. And God has assigned his conduct to your situation. Well, God's conversation assured David that I'll take care of you. God's conduct assisted and assigned to David that I will take care of you. And then God's capabilities were assisting David that I will take care of you. He says to him powerfully in verse number 12, he says, I've spoken once and twice you've heard it. All the power, all the strength. TPT version says, all the strength and power you need flows from me. Capabilities, not just dunamis, not just ischos, not just energia or kratos. The Greeks have 4 different submissions to our one word power. So when you say power, strength in the English, there are 4 different varieties in the Greek language, Koine Greek. So when you look at that, you have to ask God, which strength are you giving me? He says, I'm giving you all strength. He says, all the strength and power you need flows from me. So sometimes you're going to need dunamis. Sometimes you're going to need ischus. Sometimes you're going to need energia. Sometimes you're going to need kratos. Help me with that, Pastor E. Capabilities. Let's go through Greek 101. Dunamis, where we derive our English word dynamite, is the energy that will change the atmosphere. Dynamite, if it is impacting, inflicting, or sent into a situation, the situation, once the dynamite is lit, will not remain the same. You must agree with that. Then there is ischus. Ischus is a supernatural strength. It is your natural being overshadowed by his supra, and the things that you're able to do and accomplish in your strength, you acknowledge only God could have done this through me. I didn't have the energy, the mind, the mindset to do it. So there's dunamis, there's ischus, then there is energia. Energia is the Greek word where God gives you the ability to keep going and to keep going and to keep going. It's like that bunny rabbit with the Energizer bunny with the battery in it. He keeps beating those drums and going around. Why? Because it is to market to you that there's an energy in the battery that will keep doing things beyond your abilities. That is energia. But then there is kratos. Kratos is wonder-working power. It is the power that we see in the life of Jesus in performing miracles, signs, wonders, things that had never, ever been done and never duplicated. That's what he wants to do with you. I want to give you all power to be able to do all things in strength, that you can come back and say that only God did this. That's the message for today. I'm out of minutes, but I'm not out of message. I thank you for tuning in. Check out our website for more content. Go to our YouTube channel. If this wasn't enough, go to our YouTube channel. There's much more content there. I love you to life. Peace.
Hard in the paint, hard in the paint, we go hard in the paint, we wear the shirt. Hard in the paint, we go hard in the paint, we wear the shirt. Hard in the paint, we go hard in the paint, we wear the shirt. Hard in the paint, we go hard in the paint, we wear. If you came here to laugh at somebody, you can go ahead and laugh at me. Cause while you steady laughing, I'm dancing off shackles and being set free. See, I may look like money, but you don't know what I've been through. And I'm still going through some of it, so dancing is something that I gotta do. See, Jesus was the only one that saved my soul. He took a chance on this broken-hearted man, grabbed my hand